Video games should be merged into the modern classroom. Learning games will do much to improve students' ability to learn and comprehend the various subjects being taught. A study done by University of Michigan shows puzzle games and exercise memory improves abstract reasoning and problem-solving skills over traditional learning methods. A study at University of Rochester found video games improve vision, attention, and some cognitive skills. The study conducted in 2010 by cognitive scientists tested several 18 to 25-year-olds that were not video gamers. They were split into two groups. One group was taught how to play Call of Duty 2, a very fast-paced first-person shooter, also very violent, and the other group, The Sims 2, a slow-action strategy game. Each group played their games for about 50 hours and was given a series of audio and visual tests. What was found is that action gamers were correctly answered the questions 25% faster and just as accurate as the strategy players. Physical reaction times were also increased. The strategy players showed great improvements in cognitive skills and increased attention. A study conducted in 2011 by University of Michigan tested puzzle games designed to exercise working memory and have found that 62 elementary students have made clear improvements in problem solving and abstract reasoning. That lasted about 3 months after studies training ended. Children that have good working memory are able to follow instructions, focus on tasks, and are not as easily distracted. Personally, I am one of those distracted people with poor memory. I have noticed after a few days of playing memory games, which are very entertaining, might I add, I am able to remember things I have read, seen and heard, and I'm less distracted than usual. Squirrel! This effect seems to last only a few days for me after I have stopped using the games. Engine games are fun and entertaining without having to do any kind of extensive studies and research. It would stand to reason kids can benefit from games targeted to the students being learned better than reading about it in a book and listening to the instructors. This is not to say instructors and books are not necessary, but games are interactive, repetitive, and fun, giving students the ability to practice what they learn and put their knowledge to use with some simulations. Learning puzzles and quiz games are better at teaching students a subject because software can be made more interactive than a textbook. Games are able to present multiple puzzles that challenge the students over and over until the student actually learns the material. The best a book and instructor can do is provide a limited list of problems to solve and questions to answer. The students finds out days later whether or not they got it right. Would it not be better if the teacher found out if the student learned the subject before class was over? Remember when learning was fun? It was preschool, right? That was when we played games and did interactive things that taught us the basics. We were playing or learning. When we played, we were instinctively using what we were just taught. As we progressed in grade school, things got less interactive and the games went away. Learning was less fun and became more difficult because of it. Well-designed games will put the fun back into learning. Interactive simulations is stimulation, handwriting, hardwiring the knowledge into the neurons of the brain. I know I learn a subject better than just reading about it or watching it. If I can feel it, touch it, play with it, and build it, you can also learn by breaking it. Find out what does and does not work. There are no consequences to messing up a simulation, but there are consequences to messing up real life. People remember subject material if they know why things work or how the subject can be applied. Simulations and puzzles in the form of tasks to do go a long way towards teaching a subject. Along with instruction and books, the student can practice what has been learned. A student is more apt to remember the experience as opposed to just reading, listening, and quizzing. It all goes back to if learning is fun, then learning is easy. Schools need to embrace edugames, because students that play a variety of educational games are more likely to be creative in their everyday lives. Creative people are innovative people. Our students need to stay up to date and competitive with other countries. Our antiquated methods of teaching students is so 19th century. It is time to move into the 21st century. Computers are now within the grasp of even the poorest schools. Edugames are the key to learning in the future. The modern student is being required to learn more and do more each class day. Every year, the workload seems to increase. People are not robots. We can only do so much with books. Edugames will improve learning time and knowledge retention, leaving students more time to enjoy life. Edugames should even improve overall test scores in the education system. Students that engage and are entertained with what they are learning will be less likely to drop out of school. If all they see every day is mountains of work in form of paper and books to read, the less likely they are actually going to do it, get anything out of it, or even remember any of it. If the homework assignment was to play the assigned edugame, then overall student enthusiasm would increase. What is learned will be retained. Games make you work for the score, and you can only win if you know. So, edugames are already successfully being used in some schools for some subjects. A common core standard for all schools is currently in the works that would lend itself nicely to the inclusion of edugames. Perhaps Common Core Standard 1.1 can start introducing edugames into the public curriculum? Just a thought. One thing is for sure, edugames will most likely never become part of the learning process if it never becomes a hot topic in the government circles. Write your Congress and state representatives to enact education reforms to include the development of quality engaging games for every subject K through 12 will need to learn. Thank you.